Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we will be talking about one player, and that is Eric Garcia. We do have 48 to 32 hours left for the transfer window to close, and so the time is really going up against Barcelona right now, and the one player that Barcelona is extremely focused on is Eric Garcia. Barcelona do want to make a second signing before the transfer window does close. Barcelona is going to use every minute of this transfer window to get one player, which is the Manchester City center back Eric Garcia. He is the top priority, and the only reason why I haven't talked about Eric Garcia for a very long time is because the reports that has been coming out about Eric Garcia have been completely stalled. There has been no new updates when it comes to this player. Everything has been recycled, but now we're in that phase, the last 48 hours, to find the conclusion of this player. And this situation is very simple, right? If Barcelona do not sell any other player, Eric Garcia will not come to Barcelona in this summer. And the one player that Barcelona is looking to sell is Todibo. He is that player that will be considered as the key to bring Eric Garcia in. And here are the recent updates of Todibo, and it says here, according to sources, Fulham have submitted a 18 million euro bid to Barcelona for Todibo. The personal terms aren't agreed yet, but the team hopes to convince the player before deadline day. And so let me tell you, if this deal does go through, if Todibo just says, okay, I'm going to go to Fulham, those 18 million euros is greatly going to strengthen Barcelona's position to bring in the young Spaniard, which is Eric Garcia. Now, there has been other clubs besides Fulham who have been interested in Todibo, like Everton from the EPL, but Everton's bid is that they do want to offer a loan for Todibo, then have an option to buy in the summer of 2021. But Barcelona is not interested in those type of deals. Barcelona do want to get one thing done in this transfer window, and that is to sell Todibo permanently to a club. And so ultimately, when it comes to Todibo and Barcelona, the conclusion is this: Barcelona and Fulham are going against Todibo, and they do want to convince Todibo to leave Barcelona as soon as possible. But Todibo does not want to go anywhere. And seeing that Todibo is rejecting all of these offers that Barcelona is offering, you do have to feel for this player. I understand that Todibo is a player that does want to stay at Barcelona and prove his worth, but I also understand Barcelona's point of view. Barcelona right now do have 48 hours left, and so they have no other choice but to continue to bug Todibo and say, can you please leave to Fulham? And here's the thing, right? Something really does tell me that Barcelona are confident in this move, regardless of how much time there is in this transfer window. And it says here, according to Rack 1, Barcelona raises their proposal for Eric Garcia, and it reaches 15 million euros with variables. Todibo continues to evaluate proposals. Dortmund has joined the race, but there are many doubts from his agent and the player himself over an exit. And so the fact that we are hearing this, knowing that Barcelona have proposed a 15 million euro bid to Man City without selling Todibo yet, already tells us so much on where Barcelona is right now in this transfer process. We also know that Eric Garcia was not featured in the previous Man City game, and Guardiola was asked what happened to Eric Garcia, and Guardiola responded that Eric Garcia just had a discomfort, which I do not think that is true. It was shown earlier today that Garcia was training with no problem in the Man City training session, and there is a history of Guardiola explaining to the news outlets that there is just a discomfort going on with these players, but these players are actually just moving on to a different club. Guardiola just wants to move away from that conversation. He does not want to answer any questions regarding his players leaving Man City. And so you can sense just by the actions of Guardiola and City that they themselves do sense a departure, which is Eric Garcia. And it would also make sense for Guardiola to not feature Eric Garcia in that match, because the last thing you do want to do is feature a player on the field that is thinking about moving to a different club within these next 48 hours. That's only going to make his head be somewhere else, and that is also going to affect the results of Man City. So it does make sense that Guardiola did not use Eric Garcia. And so not only that, but we also have Ronald Koeman, who has also expressed his desire to bring in the young Spaniard in, and he said this: it is true that we want this player here. There is time until Monday. I do not want to comment further because I have seen Pep's words. The financial issue of the club is complicated. I do not know if we will succeed. And so Ronald Koeman said two things. He says that he does want Eric Garcia in, and the second one is he is well aware it is extremely hard for Barcelona to bring in that player. So even Ronald Koeman himself does know this, and I'm actually surprised to hear that Ronald Koeman has been so expressive of one of his desires, which is this young Spaniard. And so overall, you can see that there is a full agreement by putting all of these pieces together that Guardiola knows this player is going to leave. Ronald Koeman has expressed that he does want this player. Barcelona and Fulham do have an agreement, but the only thing blocking this whole thing is Todibo saying no to all of these offers. And here's what I do have to say. When it comes to the conversation of having Eric Garcia Garcia being switched in for Todibo, there is tension within this transfer, especially between the fans and Barcelona. And what I can say is this: every young player in the world is going to bring their pros and cons, their strengths and their weaknesses. Apparently to Barcelona, they do value Garcia's strengths over Todibo's strengths. To Barcelona, they believe they can re-engineer Eric Garcia's weaknesses than Todibo's. And so does that mean that Todibo does not have quality? That is not what Barcelona is trying to say. The thing is that yes, they are well aware that Todibo does have the quality, but Eric Garcia is the better suitor for Barcelona according to the club themselves. And what surprises me even more about this whole story, and what I believe is going to strengthen that argument that Eric Garcia is the better suitor compared to Todibo, there are reasons why Guardiola and Lucho, who is also named Luis Enrique, who previously coached Barcelona back in 2015 through 2017, those two coaches have praised Eric Garcia for his performances and how intelligent this center back really is. And keep in mind, these two coaches that have spoke about Eric Garcia are the two coaches that have won so many titles and have achieved so many things throughout their time in Barcelona. And I do want to go through another lane. Let's take a step back, right? And let's look at the big picture of what Barcelona is actually doing here. Barcelona has been a club that has always been known within these past 5 to 6 years that they do like to plug holes. They just like to bring players for the short term to fulfill any holes they do have within the squad. Even Messi himself has stated in the interview that the only thing Barcelona likes to do in the transfers is to plug holes. And so when we are having the conversation and talking about Serginho Dest, who is already a Barcelona player, and the player that Barcelona is currently looking for, which is Eric Garcia, those are two signings and two players who are certainly not in the conversation of plugging holes within the Barcelona squad. These are two players who are going to come to Barcelona and develop throughout the years. These are two players who are going to be in Barcelona for at least 5 years. And these two players may lay the foundation for the next Barcelona for the upcoming years. This is a reflection of what Messi has always wanted for the past 2 or 3 years. We are finally seeing the aftermath after what Messi has been doing within Barcelona throughout the whole year of 2020. From the Instagram post to Messi saying that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona, to Messi saying that this club only does one thing, and that is to plug holes. We are finally seeing the reflection, and that is Eric Garcia and Serginho Dest. And that is what's going to bring me to my own conclusion that these two players, Serginho Dest and soon to be a Barcelona player Eric Garcia, are not going to be bad signings whatsoever. And so while I do think that Todibo can lay a mark in Barcelona or in any other big team, I also do believe that Eric Garcia can lay his mark also. And so if Eric Garcia does transfer to FC Barcelona, we are going to talk about what Eric Garcia could bring to this club and where he would fit in that defensive line. Is he going to be the replacement of Gerard Piqué, the replacement of Araujo, the replacement of Lenglet? There are so many questions. I will be talking about that in the second channel when it does come to those tactical investigations. And so right now, if you're watching this video, by the time I do post this, we should at least have another new update regarding Eric Garcia. Keep in mind, the transfer window is going to close for Barcelona on Monday, and so the time is ticking. I do expect that if there's going to be an agreement between Eric Garcia and Barcelona and Todibo with Fulham, I do expect those announcements to be made after the match between Barcelona and Sevilla. So that'll be it for today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.